All right, let's dive in. In the world of AI, just about anyone can whip up a flashy demo. But building something that actually works in the real world, something reliable and ready for the enterprise, that's a whole different ballgame. Today, we're going to break down a curriculum that's designed to do just that, to turn developers into real architects of powerful AI solutions. And right from the start, the message is crystal clear. This isn't about just playing around with ChatGPT. Nope. This is a serious, structured approach for building AI systems that a business can actually depend on. Systems that are predictable, orchestrated, and tough enough for real-world challenges. And this, right here, this is the core problem that so many tech leaders are wrestling with. It's the gap between demoware, that fragile one-off tool that looks cool but breaks if you breathe on it, and a true enterprise system that's reliable, scalable, and something you can actually trust. The whole point of this training is to create engineers who can build that bridge. Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to cut through all the noise and get past the hype. Then we'll dig into how to build a really strong foundation, brick by brick. From there, we'll follow the path from just writing simple prompts to actually architecting complex systems. And then, the fun part, we'll unleash the real power of Agentic AI. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together in a capstone project that shows what it really means to be an enterprise-ready AI engineer. First things first, we've got to move beyond the hype. The market is just flooded with buzzwords, right? But the real goal here isn't to teach engineers the latest shiny tool. It's to teach them how to design reliable, orchestrated systems that solve actual business problems. It's about turning AI from a cool new toy into a core business asset. What's really interesting about this approach is where it starts. It doesn't just throw you into the deep end with AI agents. Instead, it deliberately holds back. Because the philosophy is simple. You have to earn your way to complexity. Before you can build agents that can act, you first have to master the fundamentals. And that foundation, it really starts from the ground up. Before anyone even writes a single line of Gen AI code, they have to understand what a model even is. How do neurons work? What is gradient descent? It's only after they get the mechanics that they move on to the capabilities and, just as important, the limits of these models. And that first project is intentionally simple. Just a single chatbot designed for totally controlled and predictable interactions. And this is so important. The goal is to completely demolish the black box mindset. When a developer understands why a model is doing what it's doing, they stop treating it like magic. They can actually reason about its failures, its limitations, and they don't just blindly trust what it spits out. For building safe enterprise systems, that is absolutely non-negotiable. Okay, so once that foundation is rock solid, things start to shift. We're moving from theory to actual engineering practice. This is the pivot point where developers stop just understanding AI and start really building with it, going from simple prompts to full-on systems. Now, this is where prompt engineering stops being just guesswork and becomes a real engineering discipline. Learners get to master structured techniques like chain of thought and React. The crucial mindset shift here is to see prompts less like a casual chat and more like a precise API call. It's a way to get predictable, controlled behavior out of the AI. All right, next up is a concept that is an absolute game changer for businesses: Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. This is the secret sauce for connecting AI models to your company's private data, your internal documents, your databases, your policies. It grounds the AI's answers in fact and slashes the risk of it just making stuff up. And this really hits the nail on the head, right? For most companies, the real value of AI isn't what it knows about the public internet. The real gold is its ability to understand and reason over your specific internal business data. That's how you make AI both useful and safe inside an enterprise. Okay, hold on, because this is the moment where everything pivots. Up until now, the focus has all been on AI that can answer questions. But now we make the leap to AI that can actually take action. This is the huge shift from passive information retrieval to active task completion. And the difference here is it's massive. An AI that answers is like a brilliant search engine. It gives you text. But an AI that acts, that's an orchestrator. It can use tools, hit APIs, execute code, and think across multiple steps to get a complex job done. This is the heart of Agentic AI. So how do you build these powerful systems? Well, you need the right tools for the job. Engineers master a whole suite of them. They use LangChain to structure their applications, then bring in LangGraph to build these really cool controllable reasoning loops. They leverage Llama Index for heavy-duty data retrieval. And to get multiple agents working together as a team, they learn both Crew AI and AutoGen. It's about having a full toolkit for the entire agentic stack.
But look, giving an AI the power to act can be kind of scary if you don't have control. In an enterprise setting, you just can't have a runaway agent. That's exactly why mastering a framework like LangGraph is so critical. It forces engineers to build in explicit controls, guardrails, and logic, making the AI's behavior predictable and, just as importantly, auditable. So after all that, how do you prove you've actually mastered these skills? Well, it all comes together in the Capstone project, a complex multi-agent telecom support assistant. And this isn't some toy problem. It's designed to be just like a real-world enterprise challenge, pushing learners to pull together every single skill they've learned into one working system. And check this out. This is how the system is put together. It's not one giant AI. It's a whole team of specialized agents. You've got a query classifier that acts like a dispatcher, sending tickets to the right specialist. Then you have a billing agent for money questions, a network agent to run diagnostics, and a document agent that uses RAG to find answers in tech manuals. This is what real system-level thinking looks like. All right, so let's zoom out. After this whole journey, what's the bottom line? For any managers or team leads watching, what is the real, tangible value you get when an engineer has these skills? And this is the key. This is the whole point. You don't get someone who just knows how to write a clever prompt. You get an AI-aware engineer, someone who gets the fundamentals, who can design a responsible system, who knows how to blend AI with your existing code and data, and who knows how to build in the necessary guardrails and controls. And when you lay it all out like this, you can really see the journey. It's a structured, methodical transformation. It takes a developer from day one, just understanding the basics, all the way through building, architecting, and finally deploying a really sophisticated multi-agent system. Each step builds logically on the last. So, I want to leave you with one final thought. A question, really. Take a hard look at your own teams and your own AI projects. Are you truly engineering robust, reliable systems with AI? Or are you just talking to it? Because the difference between those two is what will define who wins with AI at enterprise scale.